But before you start, you might want to go into your system settings, and for me, I'll go into display brightness and change my auto lock to never so that the screen doesn't lock while I'm doing the animation. Once you've done that, you can actually just go ahead and find the stop motion studio in the upper right and click on it. What we're going to do is start by clicking the plus to make a new movie, and then we're going to be getting this screen. Before we start, we want to click the gear in the bottom left-hand corner to set our frame rate for this animation. The first tab you can kind of see here is the speed, and notice how I have it set to 12. Yours might be set to something else, but that's the first thing I'm going to do is set this to 12 frames per second. Then I'm going to click on the camera icon. Then I'm going to take a moment to frame my shot, in this case here. And now I'm going to hit the three little lines at the bottom right. I'm going to start with the camera icon. Now notice you might not have as many choices here available, because if you click the button next to the M, I have mine set to manual. If you have auto, as you can see, the icons change to just 4 different selections. So from here, you want to click the manual button, and now we've got a ton of other features that we can set up. So the first one is our white balance. You're going to just look at what looks best. In this case, overcast seems to be giving me a nice warm look. I'm going to click on the focus tab, and this allows you to physically focus just by using the slider. You can see I can focus on the background, or I can focus on the object. And this will set my focus and it won't go out of focus, which is great. The next button is the ISO, and we know to get the highest quality you need the smallest ISO, so I'm just going to drag this down to 50. Notice that makes everything darker, so we're going to use our next tab, which is our shutter speed, to boost the amount of light that we get into the camera. So it's currently set at 1/40th of a second, but I'm going to actually dial it down until it looks pretty good. You didn't know you could do this with your camera, which is really great. So I'm going to put 1/10 of a second. Now everything looks good, but when I do something in front of the camera, notice how much blur there is. That's because our shutter is open for 1/10 of a second. We'll just click on the next tab. That's our zoom feature. So if I needed to zoom in with my camera, that would be possible. And I'm just going to hit done at this point. The next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and start animating by just clicking the little red button, or using, which is really great, your remote, Bluetooth remote. Go ahead and click the Bluetooth and you can see it's actually taking photos. Finally, the last thing you can do, if you have one, is to use your watch, and you can kind of see there is a little app for the watch, and if I click on it, I'm able to actually use my watch. Now, some of the cool features about this, so say I wanted to have my hand in the animation, but I moved it accidentally, I can use that slider on the left to actually see the previous frame, so that I can get my hand to kind of like situate right on top of where it would be. So this will give you the ability to, if you're animating and something falls off, you can actually see where that went and go ahead and try to adjust it. Really great feature as well. Okay, I'm just going to take a couple more photographs so we have some photographs to look at. Obviously not too much is happening, so I'm just going to just make this move around. And now we are all done, and I'm going to hit the back button. And you notice the bottom right, there's a little play button. Go ahead and play, see what we've got. That's what we've got. So you can kind of see, and that's at 12 frames per second. Now, if you wanted to continue animating, I can just hit the pause button. You can just move the timeline to where you want to continue animating, and then can just go into the camera function and then continue to take photos. But once you're all done and everything looks good, you hit the upper left-hand corner back button, and that'll put you back in the beginning screen where we started. You're going to select the video by hitting the select button and selecting that video. If you have multiple ones, you can select multiple things. And I'm going to hit the little up button at the upper left-hand corner, and that's going to give me some choices. The most important choice is the all image choice, because we know that's going to give us an image sequence. But you could also hit the export movie as a choice. It'll send it to something. In this case, I'm sending it directly to my computer by clicking Mac Admin. and now it is sending this video off as a finished movie that I could bring into Premiere. Another possibility, like we said, is to export the images. What that's going to do is it's going to give me a zip file, which is great. And inside of that file, when I double click it to open it, it's going to actually create a bunch of JPEGs that you can actually import as an image sequence the way we're used to. Hope that helps a little bit. Hope you like the features on this. Tell me if you've got any suggestions, and I will see you in the next video.